Hello, it's Goblin's Henchman here. So I get quite a lot of questions about Hex Flower, Hex Flowers that I make. These what I call Hex Flower game engines, basically using this kind of setup as sort of mini game engine. I like to call them random tables with a memory. So I thought, first of all, I would say that first of all I've written a guide here. It's a 16-page guide. It's on Drive-Through RPG. It's called the Hex Flower Cookbook. Um, and basically it's a sort of talks about some of the things I've learnt whilst sort of creating these hex flowers. So as I say, it's on drive-through. It's pay what you want, so it doesn't cost you a penny. Um, I would say though, however, if you give me some sort of nominal sum, 50 cents, whatever you think is reasonable, um, then that does, if you like, push me up the ratings on drive-through, and therefore more people um, can find out about these things. So from that point of view, that would be very, very helpful. So what I thought I'd do is do a kind of a sort of a walk through this guide. I got this idea from listening to Alex Schroeder's podcasts, Halberds and Helmets, where he walked through his homebrew rules, if you like, for want of a better word, D&D. And I thought it was quite a good way of going. So I think I might try that. I'll do some short videos, maybe go through a couple of pages and talk about sort of relevant parts. So I'll put this on YouTube, and if that appeals, then you'll keep listening. If not, you'll give up. Give up? Sounds like it's your fault. You won't listen anymore. Okay, so here's the title page. As I said, it's on drive-through. So there's an index. I believe it's hyperlinked. So you can click and it'll jump to the relevant part. So we'll talk about various classes of hex flowers. I mean, these are arbitrary classes. I've created them myself just to talk about this because actually I found this document quite difficult to write because there's quite a lot going on, um, and trying to break it down into a sort of simple explanations I found personally tricky. It may be my failing, or there might be something more going on. Okay, so page one. Well, that really is designed to cover essentially the anatomy of a hex flower game engine. So the main two parts of a hex flower game engine is this array here. Now it doesn't have to be a series of hexagons like this formed into a 19 sort of hexagon, if you like, a hexagon of hexagons. But I've found it quite a good method of doing it. You don't get too many results, and it's got enough dynamism in it to make it interesting. But there's no reason why it couldn't be a square or a triangle or two hexagons, one next to each other. Now the main bit about this is that it allows you, like unlike a random table, if you like, to range results sort of next to each other. So this could be an extreme result and this can be an extreme result, and they're about as far apart as you can get. Because what happens, if you like, when you do this, is you have a token that's moving on the board, if you want to call it a board. And so you can link like results next to each other, and in that way you can create a distribution of events or encounters, whatever they might be. The second key thing is this here, which I'm calling the navigation hex, and this essentially dictates the rules by which you move around this situations or outcomes, whatever you want to call it. So what I typically do is I normally use 2d6, and that gives me a, want of a better word, a bell curve. So there's a propensity for the icon, wherever you are, to move downwards and slightly this way. I'll cover probability a bit later. So there's two bits. There's the linked parts, the two main parts, the linked events, how you arrange them, and the other bit is the rules by which you navigate around this hex, which defines the events. There are certain elements about edge rules. Well, I think that's covered later in the sort of guide. Here you go. If you rolled a 4 of a 5, say you're in the central hex and you rolled a 4 of a 5, you'd go this way. If you rolled a 12, you'd go up. Okay. Okay. I think I'll wrap it up there and cover the next bit later.